Yo, it's ODB from OLP. This is issue 156 of Mini Truckin Magazine, December 2004. You have Jeremy English's Nissan Roadster, classic rolling shot, silver paint, purple color graphics. Of course, the truck was shot at Showfest 04 per the feature. This was one of one covers for Pleasure's Car and Truck Club. The 11th truck on the cover with Boyd wheels. Fun fact, it was also featured in another ultra rare magazine. I'll show that at the end, so stick with me. And this was Lance Martz's 21st credited cover, so shout out to Lance. And you can kind of see some of the details here. Now, my assumption is that this was just, not a rolling shot. So let me be clear on that. I do believe, the normal photography trick was used, right? So they kind of put the wheels in motion, which is still super cool. But I always kind of looked at it as kind of like a rolling shot. The windshield, we can kind of tell, looks like it was blacked out. And you got the Mini Truckin logo on the left side of the windshield. So pretty cool stuff. So without further ado, let's jump into this one. If you like what we're doing here, leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment. That helps the page, believe it or not. And also, if you can, look for us via any podcast app. Just search OLP. We can see Jeremy English's Nissan Roadster we picked up at this year's Showfest for its date with Lance's camera. So that gives us the intel on where it was shot. We know this was December 04, so that would have been May of 04 when it was shot. We can see the glass there is not black, so that tells us that it was kind of photoshopped there, which is something that we've kind of went over in the past on how that was sometimes done. MIC has the inside cover. And believe it or not, this is rounding out another year for us. Keep in mind, all of these flip-throughs are in playlists. So if you want to go back and check them out, let them run. That helps us. Go back to your roots. Lance kind of gets in here, talking about one of his first memories from years ago when he bought his first new truck and started working on an 89 Toyota Standard Cab. So kind of getting back to the roots, that was a topic that would come up here and there in the magazine. Rest in peace, Ernie Macias. No Regrets 2. I know Ernie, we all know Ernie loved his mid shoes. You could see their graphic disorder back when they were doing those renderings. They, of course, we had Brant on in the past talking about that transition into what they do now. And we wouldn't have the merch stuff that we have without them. Diamond Tucked. This was Lonnie Albritton's 90 Mazda Be 2200 out of Hockley, Texas, repping Severed. Super clean. We've talked about in the past, one of the possible most popular trucks, mini trucks ever. I know you could argue Toyota, but Toyota Mazdas definitely are up there, and other OEMs as well. Mike Alexander and John O'Neill teamed up on this one when John was kind of, I remember him doing freelancing for various magazines coming to town. This one's cool. I like the sliding rag top. You can see the Severed logo there. And if you look at the inside of the bed treatment, kind of cool how they did it with, it looks like it's carpeted. And between the gas tank, the hard lines, and everything you see there, pretty clean setup. You didn't always see super ultra clean setups like that. Looks like the Colorado custom steering wheel and Diamond Tucked, obviously the Severed diamond as well as the upholstery. Cool name. You got to think a lot of these trucks weren't, they weren't named, so they had to come up with a title that was just the way things were done, and they're still done today. Here's Drop Zone. So I got a chance to go to this exact location back in 2019 and check out the event. You can see a lot going on there. A lot of awesome trucks. Got a chance to see this thing a couple times now. I get this one confused with another truck, but I think it's still around. Krusty Customs, ironically enough, 20 years ago when I went to SEMA, we were hanging out with the guys from Krusty Customs. They had a black C10 there. Remember when they were kind of hitting the show scene hard back in those days. Here is the Slammed Impressions. This thing was in the magazine a ton. That was the club that Brandon Burrell, I believe, was in back in the day. And I've talked a little bit about this truck and some of the others. You can see the Slammed Impressions logo across the front windshield. I always thought that was cool that those guys, you know, that they were getting the love like that, you know, out of the Carolinas. Again, if you like what we're doing here, leave a comment. It definitely helps us out, even if it's just an emoji thumbs up comment. The BigShow. There's that really cool S10. Good show coverage. Nice quality photos. We're going to go through all these issues. I can't believe we're already at, what did I say, 156. It's pretty crazy. We've got to get to 2014. And for those that are asking or wondering, Mini Truckin Magazine is set to come back next year in 2014. Here is MT Road Trip Road Dot Collection. So that kind of tied into Draggin Thru, which was Mike Alexander's editorial. Rest in peace, Bruce Rivera. His Isuzu there. Sticking It to the Man, customized in the face of adversity. Jordan Ray's 03 Ford Ranger. Super clean. Definitely dig that. I dig it, man. You got paper cuts. More ads. And then RoadStar. Jeremy English. From the Ashes. So you can see their 94 9FO Nissan Hardbody Oklahoma City Pleasures Trucks and Compacts. And remember, you can bump this to 4K if you need to. Take screenshots if you want to try to get more. Inside of the bed was super cool with the tank and the setup. All the radius inside of the bed sides. Nice graphics. Super clean. Now, I'll show you at the end the other feature that this truck had received. We can see the BAD wheel. You got the BAD plate there too as well. Kind of a cool dash setup, how they've angled the gauges right to the driver's side. You can see that was a popular, I think, Dakota Digital deal there. And then you got your switches. Super clean show truck. And being that it's wild, like a Roadster like that, the RoadStar made for an awesome cover. And we got luxury lighting. Again, I don't spend a lot of time on those tech articles. But again, this stuff's all in 4K. Everything I cover, I end up going back and I type it all up. And I put it into the comments as well. Description, if you will. Here was Alice Cummings, 93 Ford Ranger, Sacktown from Sacramento. Super clean. So again, getting the Ranger some love in here. This was Jamie Tiffany, truly driveway built. If you think of Driveway Werks, that is the club. I believe they're still in existence, but you know, I think of Driveway Werks as Jamie Tiffany, the shop. This thing was super clean. This taco. One of the things I loved about it was just the inside of the bed all raised like that with the one single tank there. Super clean. Interior is also pretty cool on it. Super clean with all the painted pieces laid out. I got a chance to see one of his other recent builds, the D50, or his other builds, the D50 last weekend at a show, which was pretty darn cool. I think it's still kicking, you know what? The Godfather Custom Southeastern Mini Truckin National. So Bob Hayes pointed this out to me one day. It is tough if you go down the bunny trail of Southeast Mini Truckin Nats. This is the Southeastern, and Jason Bell and some of those other guys could rattle this stuff off, but this was one of the variations of it. This truck was recently saved by, I think it was Al of Severed, New York. I remember when this thing hit the show scene. Of course, we saw it at different places. Looks like Farva's S10 and Sean Holman. You can see there's some nice trucks. This is a cool photo there. I like that with the checkered deal. A lot of nice trucks. And again, we're going through every episode, or every issue rather, of this magazine. That way, you know, people that are looking for something, you know, oftentimes people are like, oh, my dad's truck was in a magazine back in 2020. And I'm like, oh, you're making me feel old. Well, this is one of the reasons why we do it. Here you have Scott and Kathy Powers' 39 Studebaker kit, Clarksville, Tennessee. And this was shot by Lance Martz, so something a little bit different. Probably testing the waters a little bit. Kind of more of a classic truck, but again, you know, testing the waters. If it's a kit, you know, maybe wanting to try to see what the reaction was going to be. Probably one of the older vehicles featured in the publication, if you think about it, to a certain extent. Got all the ads that are key for any magazine. Check out this Toyota. It's kind of cool when they would put the bigger... This was back in the day when... I think it still happens. You get your petitioners and you do the damn thing. All right, so what do we got here? We got trucks, designated drinker, wanted, OCC hat, it looks like. So there you have it. And then what I'll do is I'll flip over here. This was the other feature I talked about. And it was pretty cool. This was the Trucks magazine where Courtney, I think Stillwell, and Brian McCormick, where they ended up. It's kind of rare. I only have a couple of issues, and it's really hard to find because it's like it was called like Trucks. And it's like, okay, well, try finding those on eBay. Truck magazine. We could see that something to point out is Christina McCanley. She shot the cover. So pretty cool stuff. But there you have it. Don't forget, we are your mini trucking headquarters. And there is the rundown of this issue. Again, 156, December 2004. Everything, again, that I cover, all of the details are listed in the description. If you think others would find this fun and some of the things that we do, whether it be the podcast or these videos, please share the channel with them. And thanks, everyone, for the continued support. Again, this was Lance's 21st credited cover and one of one covers for the Pleasures Club. Topless tees. Definitely was awesome topless ride. And something else to point out too, I think, is if they met up at Showfest, right? We saw in the table of contents, this would have been added in, these kind of hills and whatnot, that kind of scenery. So again, those are a few cool things. We can kind of look back 20 years later and point some of that stuff out. Stay on the rise, everyone. ODB. There's no model on here. What's up? We are chia. Peace.